If you're ready to take back control of your health, you're in the right place. Welcome to Awaken Wellness with me, Tanya Candy, registered nurse and health coach. Now, I'm not your typical nurse. I consider myself divorced from traditional healthcare. I broke free of the sick care system in 2019 when I realized that the root cause to my sickness, my autoimmune disease, and my chronic pain was me. If you're ready for truth, for clarity, for honesty in a tough, love, compassionate way, I'm the coach for you. Join me while we dig into our root causes of sickness and disease. Right. Hello, everybody out there in streaming world. Let's see. We don't have the best light, but we will just deal with it. So it's me live and in person, Tanya, Nurse Tanya, from Awaken Wellness. I am streaming on multiple platforms right now. So this is the first time that I have streamed live on Instagram. At least I think it's working. So if you pop in and you're on Instagram, that would be awesome. If you go ahead and give me a comment. Um, I can tell that I am there on YouTube and I'm there on Facebook, but I'm not sure about Instagram. So I'd be really curious about that. So what brings us here today is this is my group coaching platform. So I am really working on getting more regular about this, showing up for you guys and hoping that you'll show up and get your questions all answered. Um, so you don't have to be one of my clients. You don't have to be on a program to join in this group coaching. So down the road, we will probably have to prioritize. My clientele is rapidly growing. So far, I still have a handle on it. I haven't had to turn anybody away, but we can foresee that, right? We're getting some awesome testimonies, um, things that are working. For me, as a someone in the healing space, as a healer, it's so exciting when things work for clients. I personally don't ever want to be in a place where I sound like I'm taking credit for anybody else's healing because it's each individual that has to do the work. And the stage has to be set, and there's always so many things that happens or has happened before you get to me or in the process of our working together and our healing journey. So, one of the really cool little stories. Well, one, let me tell you kind of what I do, what makes my program different. I use bioenergetic testing. I will use functional labs, functional testing, as well as just questions and assessment and intuition, that kind of thing. I will use some muscle testing, so it's really this conglomeration of things. But I always used my Quest for bioenergetic scanner, and we do imprints. So if you're at a distance and you're working with me, you're going to send me a saliva sample. If it's a baby, we can do a diaper or urine. So you send in a DNA sample and I analyze it. I analyze it to help me figure out root causes as well nutritional deficiencies. It's like that target. Instead of just going off your symptoms and your problems and kind of guessing, this Quest bioenergetic tester helps me get on target, helps me hone right in to get get what we need to do to get you going. My basic packages, my foundation, if you're local and you're coming and seeing me, we're kind of doing a package, but not really. The package products are more my distance community. But either one, I like to start with a cell core foundation, and not everybody's ready for that. Sometimes that first 30 days, that 60 days, we have to set the stage, we have to prepare the body. But I will always talk about gardening, like your body is a garden spot. And when we plant health, we're planting like the same equivalent as organic heirloom seeds, right? Even your nutrition, you're trying to plant health in your body. But if you were going to plant a garden with expensive seeds, you wouldn't plant it in old potting soil out of the garage. You wouldn't plant it next to your fuel tanks. You wouldn't plant it in a low lying swampy area with no drainage. So, your body is your garden spot. So, we need to till it up. We need to pull the weeds. We need to remove what's not supposed to be there. I believe that the body will absolutely heal itself when we one remove what's not supposed to be there, work on thoughts, toxins, traumas, parasites, bacterias, all those things, and then replenish what's missing. So what's missing with that nutritional component. I believe in that foundational 4-month detox. A lot of my clients walk through that without the bioenergetic testing. That's like my DIY package. That's my DIY. If you are basically healthy and want to upscale your health, you're perfect just to do that 4-step DIY. You can order it off my website. Super safe, that Cellcore for anybody. If you are wanting to get off medications, if you have autoimmune disease, if you've had cancer, you're not a DIY person. That is delicate. We need to take that step by step and we need to work it out. So, no matter what, no matter who, we start with drainage. You have to be pooping at least once a day, if not multiple times a day. So your eating should kind of correspond to your pooping. If you eat 1 meal a day, 1 poop a day. If you eat 3 times a day, 3 poops a day. And even people who say, I've never been like that, that's a big thing. Like the rest of your body is going to be super toxic if you are not properly pooping. Then there's probably some liver issues. There's something else going on. So if you're chronically constipated and you think you're normal, that's not normal. So maybe you don't fit into that DIY. On the DIY program, I've got some in my website. There's these education vaults. It's under members only, and like you can get videos of me talking about each step. So you can bypass the appointments. It's like way cheaper because I'm on repeat. It's basically me giving a person that, if you were coming in paying me for my one-on-one time, it's repeat. That's the same thing I'm probably going to tell the next 5 people that walk in the door. So if you're pretty well healthy, you just want to do a really good detox, you can do the DIY. And fall is the perfect time to start really working on your liver, really detoxing. So, I always get so sidetracked. I was going to give a couple of little recent stories that are really cool client stories. Um, like I say, I'm super humble. I am not a miracle worker. My clients still they have to do all the hard work. They have to change. They have to spend their money. They have to take the supplements. But one really cool story, I had a gal who come in and she was not even 50. She was in good shape, just an adorable little gal, had a lot of history of anxiety, depression, mental health stuff. She really struggles with her mental health. That was part of it. And then, in the conversation, she's like, and I pee my pants. I've been to the doctor. I don't have an infection. I don't have this. I don't have that. These major things were already ruled out. but she's incontinent at work in just little things, having bladder leakage. So I did some things differently with her. Like normally we would do the step one, energize, and all that. But most of her other stuff like looked pretty good. But I was pretty sure I did her bioenergetic scan. Um, Kind of ruled some things in, ruled some things out, and I was pretty sure there's evidence, energetic evidence of some parasite problems. Parasites can really affect our bladder and they make a biofilm. So like their waste, it's kind of like, you flush your toilet all the time or you take out your garbage is in a trash bag, but you still have to get in and scrub that out. The toilet brush, even though the water is flushing it, it's still not your toilet's not clean. That water's not cleaning it. So that's kind of what happens in our organs. It can happen in our joints. It can happen like anywhere in your sinuses, really can be a major place where people get biofilms. So anyway, I kind of jumped the gun because she had an emergent need. Like we needed to fix this bladder issue, right? So we went with Cellcore's Para 2. Para 2 is anti-parasitic. I did go with Para 1 too as well. But Para 2 is the one that I knew was going to help her bladder. It's got herbals in it that really, really get bad bacteria. A lot of times when we have these chronic urine problems, if we were to do a stool test for her, there's a couple, and the one's got something pig eye in it that really affects your bladder and your kidneys. And there's another bacteria. I have to see it to tell you. I don't have it memorized, but I have to see it on the report. But a couple of these rogue bacteria that are normal part of our GI system, but if they're kind of out of control, if they're the shot callers, if there's dysbiosis in the gut, it can affect our kidneys, it can affect our bladder. So anyway, I was pretty sure that I could get some pretty quick results for her and improve. Like everybody wants a quick win, right? So I got her going, and I she had probably been doing those products for a couple of weeks, and she called me and she's like, "I have to tell you, I have not peed my pants in 4 days." Like she was so happy. And then by the time she got here for her follow-up, it had been 10 days since she had any bladder leakage. So that just goes to show that, I was pretty confident that Para 2 was gonna do what I thought it would do and help her out quickly. But, I mean, it might take me 60 days to really feel confident that that's corrected, and then we'll move forward in the process, and eventually, we're gonna have to bring back good bacteria. So, in those first few months, we're just pulling weeds in her garden spot. We're just pulling weeds. So I'm not going to worry about probiotics because I'm stirring the pot. I'm tilling up the soil. So this isn't the time that I'm going to bring back the good. We're going to keep pulling weeds and then we're going to restore. And a few months later, a few steps later. So if you're here live, I see I've got a few people watching on a couple of platforms. If you have any questions or comments, I should be able to see them. Let me see. Kind of green at all this. So I should be able to see. I'm hoping I'm live streaming on Instagram, but I can't tell if I am or not. So if you are on Instagram and you happen to see this, drop a comment. I don't know if I can see it from here, but I can always answer you later. I would love to know if you saw this. Instagram is not my go-to. It's not my platform. I'm a Facebook girl, kind of like YouTube, and I've really gotten into TikTok. I'll be going live on TikTok. It's too much to try to do that all at the same time. I've tried and it really is hard on my multitasking brain. It makes me, then I have to look at two different cameras and it just doesn't work very good. So I will be going live on TikTok at 1 o'clock or after this hour. I also have got a promotion. So, and you can do that. Um, I don't think I am smart enough to drop a link in the comments myself, but if you are even watching this on replay, I've got a link in my bio that says free bioenergetic scan, and you can sign up for that if you have seen me anywhere on this video. Anywhere you saw it, you can go to my link in bio, go to free bioenergetic scan, and you can register for that. So you need to know if you win, you are consenting to have that scan done live. I do that on TikTok. On TikTok, I can make the camera so you can see my computer and you can see me. So that is what I do every Wednesday on TikTok. I do a live bioenergetic scan and just kind of like it's a basic consultation. And the person doesn't have to be with me in the comments. They definitely don't have to go on camera because it makes it so it doesn't work. But um, if you win, you are consenting to do your scan live. So just so you know, that is part of it. Another cool testimony that I wanted to give a shout out. A gentleman, a young guy who came in and he had been most of the time, by the time people get to me and they're sick and they're still having problems, they've been doctoring and the doctors don't find anything that's wrong with them, but the people still feel bad. But they've ruled out major things, right? So they've gone to the doctor, they've ruled out like major issues, but they know they just don't feel good and whatever they've done hasn't worked, hasn't solved their problems. So this young man had been to me and he came in locally. This it was a local and he had been worked up tail to nose to end at Mayo Clinic, and he still was just can't poop. He was only pooping every few weeks, and he had done the Wellness Way program. So I was originally trained by the Wellness Way. It was a great education, but now I have my way of doing things. So I have married what I've learned there as well as what I've learned from other trainings, added in my bioenergetic testing, added in cell core products. So I've got my way. I've got the Awakened Wellness Way. And it really I've had amazing results. When things don't work, a lot of times, no matter what program you're doing, it's because you quit too soon, and I get it. It all is really daunting. You have to eat a certain way. You have to it's a lot of elimination. It's a lot of work. So what I do, or like what the Wellness Way does, what other holistic practitioners do, it is not the easy button. So a lot of times, when it doesn't work, um, one, a person just doesn't have the self-discipline to do what needs to be done. And like in this gentleman's case, that was not the case. He really did everything that they asked him to do. He modified his diet. He took a ton of herbs. He did food allergy testing. He obeyed it. From what he says, to the letter, but he still just was constipated. He still just could not poop. And he had, as we talked in our interview process, he did, and if you're listening to this, like really hear me, because people do this with my program too. They quit in the middle. And I try to warn everybody. I try to put out this huge warning sign. It doesn't matter if it's my program or if it's the Parify, whatever off social media. Parasite cleansing is so trendy right now. And it really makes me nervous because the majority of people, even if you think you got some results or you saw some weird stuff in the toilet, most people only do enough to piss them off and make it worse. It makes them drive into your tissue, drive into your body deeper. This gross, terrible thing happens when you kill some of the adults. It sends out an enzyme for the eggs to hatch. So that that dying process releases an enzyme telling the eggs to hatch, and they lay thousands and thousands of eggs a day. So when you just randomly start killing them, you can make the infestation worse if you don't follow up. So I see, a lot of people, they'll do a little cleanse. Well, I tried this, I saw it on TikTok. Everybody's doing parasite cleanse, and they don't think anything of it. But then, like 6 months later or a year later, they're like, I just randomly gained 30 pounds. Like, I haven't done anything different, and I've gained 30 pounds. And a lot of that was that parasite cleanse. They really will dig into your liver. When they're going to hide from you trying to kill them, they're going to dig deeper into your organs, deeper into your tissues. And usually it's your liver and your bile duct that is most affected. So if you're watching and I just scared the bejeebers out of you, like, sorry, but you should be scared. And I tell everybody who walks in my door, if they're going to start the parasite stuff, I tell everybody this, but yet they still quit. They will still quit after doing 1 or 2 months worth, and they people don't believe me until then. When you have to redo all this, it's just that much harder. So anyway, this guy, when we're doing our interview, and I got to talking about parasites, and he said, yeah, he's like, I did do that. I did do, whatever little cleanse that he bought off social media. And he showed me some of the pictures of some of the stuff that came out. And I was like, yeah, you definitely. And he was constipated before that happened. So he was having problems, but that parasite, that little 30-day or 2 week or whatever he did, definitely did not help his situation. So, when I'm concerned, I'm always concerned about everybody who walks in my door. Like, if you're working with me, if you're under my wing, I'm a little practitioner. I don't have hundreds of people that I'm trying to keep track of. I'm getting busy enough where I don't remember everybody's story anymore. Like, I need help. Like, and so many people have similar problems, so things start to run together. But anyway, I was, contacting him about 3 or 4 days after left and started, and wondering how he was doing. And he's like, nope, no poop yet. And I'm like, drat, what do I need to do? So it's always on my mind. It's on my prayer list. It's on my heart. Like, how can I help this guy? We got to get him pooping, right? So, and then I didn't hear from him. I don't badger people. I don't have time to, every day check in with you like your mom. But I didn't hear from him again, and it was time for his 30-day follow-up, and I kind of wondered, well, will he show up? Like, how did this go? And so when he walked in, for his appointment, he was like, yeah, the floodgates are open. I am pooping multiple times a day. Like, we have got this going on, and he was so ready, mentally excited, feeling better, ready to go to step two. He wanted to go back to killing stuff. And after we talked, I did allow him to, because that's the requirements. You have to be pooping every day before you can start killing anything. Like, that's just required. So we did move on, and that first week was really rough. I warned him, when we start killing these things, it can be really rough. Like, some people, even their mental health, like the parasites, they become part of your personality, and they're rough. Like anxiety, depression, like literally kind of kicking and screaming when you start trying to evacuate them from your body. Like, it can be really rocky for some people. So that's why it's just really nice to have a support person, whether you're working with me or you're working with somebody else, to talk you through all these things. Like, I myself, it's been a while now for me. So I really have to, dig into my story and remember what it was like. It's been long enough that I really, um, when I first started passing parasites myself, like, I still do maintenance. I was so full of parasites, I'll always live in maintenance. And we have to try to build a body that parasites don't want to live in. So I was full of autoimmune disease, I was full of um, gut issues. So when your body is that broken, fixing it is hard. My eating style, I'm still an average person. I really I just like last weekend we were traveling. Some family made some really delicious homemade sourdough bread. I ate sourdough bread on a Friday, and then I ate um, fry bread at the rodeo on Saturday. And I don't usually eat gluten, and I always kind of think that gluten doesn't really affect me. But man, it's Wednesday now, and I'm still feeling the effects of that gluten. Um, my bowels are a little bit goofy, but mostly for me, it makes my body retain water. It like makes my lymph system puffy. It makes me retain water, and it just sucks my energy. Like just totally sucked my energy. I'm still feeling it. So I too am still getting reminded that the root cause of the root cause of the root cause of your sickness or disease, my sickness or disease is me, is my choices, what I decide to do with my body. Our bodies are only a product of the environment of which we expose them to. Like that's how much control we have over our bodies. So we have to take accountability, we have to take responsibility. And just like my little gluten story, I knew what I was doing when I did it. Was it worth it? No. It wasn't worth it. Will I do it again? Probably because I'm human and that's just how we are. Like we just we're broken. We tend to be so self-destructive. So anyway, the first few days of killing stuff for this young man was hard, and he was texting me and we were communicating and I was trying to help him buckle down and either, take your foot off the gas and maybe you're not ready to kill stuff, or you decide keep your foot on the gas and you're going to feel like shit and you have to work through it. Those are the choices. So, but I'm here for my clients. I'm available for that. And I haven't heard back from him now in probably a week. So I assume that he buckled down and he got through it. Um, I would say, yep, share your gross pictures with me or whatever. I'm up for that. So that is, a couple of wins, just recent wins. And like I never take responsibility for your wins because you have to do the hard work. I can help you point you in the right direction, but you have to do the hard work. And sometimes, even when we feel so low and so crappy, even just remembering to take your supplements when we're in the parasite kill phase, the supplements are 4 times a day for at least 3 months. So that is a huge commitment. And I really talk to people about that before they even start. Like, if you cannot imagine yourself taking supplements 4 times a day. You're one, you're not sick enough, or two, then don't do it. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your time. If you can't get rid of the 7 most inflammatory foods, and we'll go over those quick. I ask everybody while they're doing your detox and your parasite cleanse, the 7 most inflammatory foods. I don't do food allergies right out of the gate anymore. We just do this. So instantly I save you 400 bucks and we don't even worry about food allergies because when we start parasite cleansing and pulling weeds, we your food allergies would change like that rapidly. So there's no point in testing. But we will the 7 most inflammatory foods are dairy, of course, gluten, of course, peanuts surprises people, eggs surprises people, soy, corn, and sugar. So I ask everybody just to 100% for 120 days, do not eat those foods. And the reason for that is I'm going to give you my kindergarten explanation. The reason for that is our GI, so your nose to your tail, is all the same mucosa, right? It's the same lining from nose to tail. So people who can get Crohn's or colitis, they get sores in your nose, they get sores in their mouth because there's sores in their in their gut lining. So that lining, when it's good and healthy, is these tight junctions. It's they're tight junctions like this, like a coffee filter. So that's how we get hydrated. Your large intestine is where your body pulls your fluid out. So you drink water, you drink fluid, it, your nutrition, all that in your large intestine, like a coffee filter, then it comes out just like coffee does, black water. And then that fluid is going to be utilized through your body, through your vascular system, through your cells and all of that. When those junctions are tight, it's like a coffee filter. It only gets through what's supposed to get through. Your nutrition that your body recognizes, that your body has already broke down, it has already composted for you. So it just like, a lot of people freak out about our vitamins are from a mold process, like that's how you get methylcobalamin, is because they're extracting it from molded food, or citric acid, it's extracted from molded food. Well, your body is doing the same thing, is composting. That's how you get B vitamins. That's how your body makes all this stuff. So when your microorganisms are right, when your body's composting right, that's how you get your nutrition from the majority. Like a raw carrot is full of this nutrition, but your body has to compost it. Your body has to decompose it to get the nutrition out. So, sidetrack, sorry. So, back to this coffee filter, right? If everything's working right, just what goes through, what your body recognizes as nutrition, goes through to your bloodstream. However, when we have normal life, just all the crap that's in our food, pollution, Roundup, herbicides, all of that stuff, and parasites, all of that, they munch away at your gut lining. So now your gut is like this. There's gaps in that membrane, right? So there's gaps there, and your gut becomes more like a screen, like on your window, than that coffee filter. So your food proteins leak into your circulation, into your bloodstream, and they're not supposed to be there. Whole proteins are not supposed to be there. Your body was supposed to compost them before they got out. But so they get through these gaps. And when those food proteins are in your bloodstream, then your body, your immune system, your Pac-Mans, doesn't know that it's harmless food proteins. Your immune system just sees it as foreign, not part of your body. So there's an immune reaction, autoimmune, and that's how the medical system, they describe autoimmune as your body's attacking itself. Your body's not attacking itself. Your body is attacking that stuff that's leaking in your bloodstream that's not supposed to be there. So, and there's an inflammatory reaction. Like if you've got autoimmune Hashimoto's, you probably had Epstein-Barr or monovirus, and that's in your thyroid, and your body's just trying to clean it up. It's trying to protect you. It's not trying to hurt you. So, it's all about pulling those weeds and what's not supposed to be in there. Your immune system is just trying to clean this stuff up that's not supposed to be in there. It's not attacking itself. It's attacking stuff that leaked through your leaky gut and got into your bloodstream, right? So we will eventually work really hard on fixing that leaky gut. And it can take a lot of supplements, it can take a lot of eating different. But in this first 120 days, the main thing we're going to do is reduce that inflammation by having you avoid those 7 foods. Those 7 foods are super small proteins, and they leak through that gut wall and keep your immune system overactive. So if we just avoid them, all of a sudden this is better, and we didn't even have to do $300 worth of supplements. It's just better because of how we're eating. So we always want to use food as medicine. So a lot of people will say, "You're just going to start this detox. You're not going to work on the gut first." Well, we're going to do both, and definitely if a person wants to add some aloe juice, you want to add some chamomile, all of that, even L-glutamine, all of that is beneficial, and we can do that, and we will if the situation requires that. Maybe we have to take 30 days, and we have to do that if it's really inflamed. Like, your gut can be like hamburger. Or I always tell people, if you ever have a scab on the inside of your nose, you know how sore that is, how raw it is, and how long it can take to heal. So think about your porous gut. It's the same membrane the whole way through. So when it's inflamed and angry, we really have to be kind. And even, some people, even if they will go on some collagen or some bone broth and just do a liquid warm bone broth with a good fat and replace 1 to 2 meals a day with that, and just pull back some of that solid food, that is even beneficial. So um yeah, it's a lot of work. Getting healthy, and doing it this way is a lot of work, but it's amazing. You get this sense of control. Like, when you start to control what you're putting in your mouth, what you're saying, what's coming out of your mouth, you start to bloom with confidence, and it's just and it's an amazing process. And you don't have to do it all perfectly. Like I say, I always say how fallible I am and how imperfect I am. I am clearly not 100% or where I need to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be. So every day we have to recommit to the process. Every day we have to encourage ourselves and start fresh. Um, I'm going to get off here pretty soon, but I did want to also mention so the last month, maybe 6 weeks, I've really been on we need to breathe more. I need to breathe more. Exercise, that is the hardest component for me to get regular with, is exercise. I Who knows why, right? You go in a spurt where you're good for 2 minutes, 2 weeks. I'm jumping on my rebounder, facing the sun every morning, and then the weekend comes, and then I got off schedule, and then here I am again off schedule. So anyway, something that have we've had a lot of success in my programs. We don't want to overwhelm things. Like, even like this meeting is super overwhelming. Your first meeting with me is so overwhelming, and I always apologize for that. There's kind of no other way but just to start the overwhelming information. But in the first few steps, one of the things that we like to work on, and I, I actually call them mock smoke breaks. So, like, I don't want anybody smoking, but there are some things that I really appreciate and I think are so smart, and there's so much more. It's not the cigarettes that are so addicting for people. It's the break. It's the actual break. So what I think is amazing about a smoke break is, well, one, I don't care where you work, you don't have to be a smoker to take a break. And like nowadays, most people end up hiding out in the bathroom on their phone when they feel overwhelmed. They'll go hide out in the bathroom and sit on their phone. So you're trying to take that break, but I don't want you hiding out in the bathroom. I want you to go outside and get some fresh air. So these are a couple of things that I love about the smoking process, right? So even when you're taking a drag of your cigarette, you're breathing in deeply through your nose, and then most people kind of hold it, and then they release. So, granted, they're breathing in toxins. Stick with me, right? Stick with me in this story. We don't want to breathe in toxins, but they're walking away from their stress. Like, smokers are just as addicted to the break as they are to the cigarette. And that's the good part of it. That's the part that works. That's the part that helps them reduce their anxiety. So I want all of us to take smoke breaks, right? How whatever your company policy is, or if you work for yourself, or when you start to feel a little antsy or overwhelmed and your attention span is shot and your mind won't track and you know you're making too many typos, or whatever it is, just get up. And I don't care if you fake smoke or if that works for you, but you want to be kind of on a timer. You shouldn't need to do it much longer, not longer than 3 minutes. Even 3 minutes is plenty. So, not on your phone, not checking your texts, not playing Candy Crush, just breathing, preferably with your mind, with your eyes toward the sun and in the fresh air. That makes it the cream of the crop. That makes it even better. If you can, take your shoes off and stand in the grass. Then you're grounding, you're resetting your sleep mechanism because you're looking at the sun. You're getting so much benefit. And then you're going to breathe, right? You don't have to do it fancy. Just use your diaphragm, breathe in through your nose, kind of count to 3, work on counting to 5, peak it, hold, 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 release that breath nice and deep. You might feel lightheaded the first few times you do that, but oxygenating our brain, oxygenating our body, opening up that chest, even like when I do that, I'm at a weird camera angle, but we sit, over our computer with our head forward, and your head, the weight of your head, your neck is tight, and all of those mechanics. So get your smoke break, get your shoulders back, breathe, elongate your spine. If you work 8 hours, you should do this at least 3 times during the day. So I've had some great feedback from one of my favorite clients. She's in Texas and she's just such a sweetheart. And she's like, I'm doing these smoke breaks. I'm craving them. I haven't had a headache in 2 weeks. So, like, just the extra oxygen, like, we breathe so shallow. So, that is your homework. Like I say, you're here, you don't have to be on my programs or anything. These little group coaching things, as they catch on, um, they're just to share a little bit of information with you. Before we go, I do want to quick share with you my website and what my programs look like, right? So here's the sales pitch of the video. I just want to quick share my screen. It always takes me just a second to find the right one. And I just want to show you what my packages look like. So when you get to that, go to my website, awakenwellnessllc.com, and it's going to be, I believe, I can't see it right now. It's behind here under the information tab, I think. And then it's called packages. This is the pop up that will sign up, that will show up. And all you have to do is fill this out. You'll get an email, and I'll send you a video. Then, oh, let's see. I didn't really want to click that. Close that. Then you'll get a video. And I don't have time. And two, I hate the sales pitch. I hate those discovery calls where I have to try to sell myself and get you enrolled in a package. I just hate them. So I just made a video of me doing it once. You'll know what the prices are. You'll know if we're a good fit. And then you can book a discovery call and you can tell me what package you fit into. So these are my one-to-one packages. They are intensive. Even just the jump start, I don't really count it out in months. We count it out in visits because everybody is going to work at a different pace. There's a lot there's a lot of homework. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I expect you to be doing between appointments because we have to do behavior modification. any of this healing only works when we do behavior modification. So that is really, really hard work. There's no sugarcoating any of this stuff. It's hard work. So in the jump start, you get 5 one-on-one visits. In the intensive, you get 9. In the total transformation, you get 12. And in the total transformation, we usually do some lab tests, and those are paid for separately because we don't know what we need. Each person is going to be different. Every package, you get 25% off discounted products. So that would be stuff that I don't keep in house. We use Fullscript for that. And each package includes Cellcore products. So that's included in the price. In the Jumpstart, we're only doing the foundation. So that is 4 months worth of product. In the intensive and in the total transformation, we're doing the comprehensive route, which is 9 months. And those Cellcore basic products are included. Now that you will end up needing other products. It won't be all Cellcore, but that is going to be really individualized, and there's no way to include that in the package price. I my licensure as a nurse, I have to advertise this way. It as a nurse, I cannot work in these states. As a coach, I can. So I can't do lab testing in those states, but I can do coaching. This is the group coaching option. So in the group coaching, you're going to do the same behind the scenes homework. Your products, your Cellcore products are still included, but you'll see there are less one-on-one. So you're going to get your coaching in these meetings. You can always ask questions. We can do some individual stuff, but the group coaching, the price point is much less because there's not as many one-on-one meetings. You do still get some, and we still will do some bioenergetic testing, and we still do the emotional component. That's really cool. And you get one, like in the 4 month, you get one-on-one coaching session. In the intensive, you get four. In the 360, now these are kind of like by days, so that's a full year. You get 5. So the price point is super affordable. It really is. It Being healthy is an investment. So you have it's the most important investment you will ever make in your life, and we're not used to it. We're not used to that kind of investment. Also, here, if you scroll down that page, if you don't know me in person and you want to know more about me, these videos are getting kind of old, but here's a video that basically tells my story, my statement of faith. I'm very open about my faith, and if you don't want to hear kind of a Christian type perspective, um, I will have people that just say, that's not for me. And I can kind of keep my mouth shut, and I try to respect that, but it's at the core of who I am. So if that's really a trigger for you, then we're probably not going to be a good fit. Another thing, I do all my website stuff, I do all my emails, and I am the worst speller and grammar. And if that's a trigger for you, then we probably don't want to work together because I'm over it. I am at peace with who I am. And if you are going to try to pick on me about spelling and grammar, then we're not a good fit. And I don't need that in my day. I'm cool with who I am. It may come off a little unprofessional or whatever, but it's just hardcore authentic me. And that's how you know AI didn't produce it. I did. So that being said, I run into people who are super triggered by that, and I just don't have time for it. I just don't have time for it. I have accepted that, and I've moved on. So if you can't move on, then we're just not a good fit. So, whoever needed to hear that, or I needed to say it, our hour here is up. If you are live or if you're on the replay, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate anybody who supports me on social media, who likes and who shares and who helps get the word out. If you know somebody who is going through this, just support them. It's hard. All of it is super hard. So I just want to say, God bless you. I am going to go ahead and close this video. I just appreciate all of you. And like I say, when you're under my wing, I take that pretty seriously. You're in my prayers. Um, I am always seeking spiritual advice before, during, after, whenever I'm working with somebody. We're all such individuals. We are all bio individuals. So there's never a one size fits all program. That's why I love my Quest scanner, and I love, love, love adding the imprints to the Cellcore. What we're doing, it makes it individual for every person. So thanks again. I will see you at the next group coaching.
If you're ready to take back control of your health, you're in the right place. Welcome to Awaken Wellness with me, Tanya Candy, registered nurse and health coach. Now, I'm not your typical nurse. I consider myself divorced from traditional healthcare. I broke free of the sick care system in 2019 when I realized that the root cause to my sickness, my autoimmune disease, and my chronic pain was me. If you're ready for truth, for clarity, for honesty in a tough, love, compassionate way, I'm the coach for you. Join me while we dig into our root causes of sickness and disease.